Hi. I'm a bit nervous and I do have a bit of a nervous stutter, so just bear with me. So I'm Krissie, and I took part in a project called Atlantis, and at the end of which I told my story using the storytelling evaluation approach, and that's the story I'm going to read for you essentially. Okay. So I was a member of Crisis. I'm now an ex-member of Crisis. But I spent nearly a year in a hotel last year whilst waiting for somewhere of my own to live, and it was really, really hard going. And at 48, I don't have any major social issues. I've never been homeless before, and I didn't anticipate that could happen to me. But you know, one nightmare relationship later, and there I was. I mean, if it hadn't been for the support of Crisis at the outset, and then working with the old fire station, I'm not even sure that I would actually still be here. It was like the worst time in my life. I've never been so lonely. But the support that I got from Crisis and from the old fire station has been really awesome, and it is life-changing. Anyway, so I'm quite crafty by nature, arty crafty, not just crafty. Maybe both, you know. I've been doing sewing and things for a long time, but obviously over the last couple of years life's been very interesting, to put it nicely. It's been an experience. Anyway, so they asked me if I'd like to do a traineeship in costume, and which, you know, I jumped at the chance of because any excuse to sew. And I just thought, what an amazing opportunity. And I was working with a lady called Anne, who's a costume designer, who's worked on things like The Crown and Netflix and stuff, so she's really, really awesome. And she's so lovely. And she would give me tasks, and it was great, because she'd give me a task and then basically let me get on with it, so I didn't have somebody looking over me the whole time. And she wasn't someone who liked to oversee everything like minutely. She's got a running list in her head on what's going on, but she let me dress the character of Margarita, essentially, who's a drag queen, post-tsunami, river tsunami at that. So it was really good fun, actually. We bought a kimono that she wears at the beginning, and that was beautiful until we got hold of it. Made it dirty and muddy and looked like it had been through a tsunami. And everything had to be made to look like it had been sort of put together from bits and bobs and stuff, and not anything specific. So I started out with making the earrings, which made a glass leaf, sparkly bits, sequins stuff. And they seemed quite inconsequential initially. But as an overall thing, it did add to the impact of the costume. Oh, sorry.
Keep going, you're doing really well.
Fine, I've lost my place now. Yeah, and I'm clearly not a jeweller by any stretch, so it was good fun to learn, and I did. And what else did I make for her? From scratch, I made, she wears a turban, the main performance, big flowery thing on it, and I made that. And that was quite technical, and required some YouTube videos. But I got there. Before we ran out of fabric. And what else did I make for from scratch? So, yeah, the turban, I made that. What's the place again? And it was lovely to work with people I wouldn't have met otherwise, because it's a real mix, and we were in the art rooms and people were in and out the whole time, and then we were dressing the cast as well, so it was a really nice opportunity to meet people that, you know, I wouldn't otherwise. And people were chatty and friendly, and everyone that I came across was really, really lovely. It's a really warm environment. I mean, even sitting here, and I'm really anxious, but not in. It's a good anxious, you know. It's a positive feeling, and I felt really supported by the old fire station, you know, in particular with Sarah, but also everyone actually. It's because it's a combined event. And they were really reassuring, because I do have bad anxiety, and I always felt like I was letting people down if I couldn't do something or couldn't come in time. But everybody dealt with me with tact and kindness and thought, and I wasn't made to feel different or, you know, like a nuisance. So I met some amazing people. And just to be involved and to feel, I suppose, how most people feel most of the time, maybe, because I don't work, and so I don't have that kind of constant social interaction. It's really healthy. You miss it, and I'd forgotten what that felt like, and now I've remembered. I want more. I want much more of that. You know, I haven't sewed for about 10 years at that point, and so it kind of reawoke a thing in me that reminded me of who I am or who I could be. And that was massive. And I think in terms of, in terms of confidence and how you interact in other circumstances, because I think when you become a problem, you lose all your confidence because you've got nothing to offer. You can't even house yourself, you know, which is just such a basic thing. And so instead of it being something I didn't know how to do or wasn't able to do, this was something I could do that stretched me, but not in a way that I felt was too frightening. And it reminded me who I actually am underneath all the dross of just trying to navigate the system and so on, you know, endless forms and justifications. And it gave me a taste of what I could have and who I actually am, and who, with some effort on my part and some support from people who are very supportive, that I could be, you know, that this could be me all of the time, one day, maybe. And it sounds silly and a bit over the top, I realise. It sounds like I'm being a bit dramatic, but it isn't. It really has such an impact. It is life-changing, and everybody that takes part in Crisis and the Fire Station, they all have their parts to play, but they all become sort of it becomes its own entity, and it's really, really positive and really important. And you know, it does restore also your faith in people. It helps to build your confidence in ways that I don't think even the old fire station necessarily realise that they, you know, these are outcomes from the projects that they do, because it's hard to measure, isn't it? And just the way that people speak to you and the way that you're talked to, involved, listened to, asked your opinion, all things that. All things that nearly there. All things you lose when you become homeless is where I was going with that. Or you have some massive sort of social crisis. You know, you don't just lose your home, but you lose everything positive in your life. And you just become this thing to be solved and dealt with in someone's to-do list. And as I say, because everyone here is, they're all such nice people, I think they just assume that everybody else is like them. And they're not. You know, you deal with a lot of people who you question why they're doing the jobs they're doing, because they clearly don't like humans. And I am learning that, and you know, people aren't, so it is hugely important, and I'm learning to live a healthier way. I also remembering that that I have value, that you have something to offer because you listen to and changes are made because of suggestions that you've made. Even small suggestions, and it's those bits that make it feel like a fair exchange rather than like a charity event. And that is really validating. Sorry. Yeah, and on an even level, I suppose, I was made to feel like I was equal, and it was lovely. Those are all skills again, they're life-changing, because they change the way that you interact with other people when you leave this building. It changes how you view other people, sort of, and it makes you do it more positively. And it's, starts to get your confidence back, and it's like the colour coming back into your world, essentially, you know, it's like you've been hibernating or something for a really long time. And then I got to see the play made real and go and watch it as an audience, and it was magical, and it was believable, and it became this thing when you had the lighting and the set and the acting, and it became this whole creature of its own, you know, this sort of, it was magical actually, it was really good fun. And it is, and I talked to people and they said, you know, why do you need the arts? Why are the arts important? But that's the bit that makes you a real person, not a statistic. It's like being awakened, isn't it? It's kind of like you've been, hibernating, here we go. And find that you're existing, you know, and I think what this offers, it's like waking up in its spring. And ultimately, and in part as a result of this, I am hoping to go back to college in either this September or definitely the one after, to do Textiles Foundation course. And just going to college would be a massive thing for me now, because I'm 49, I'm 50 this year. And I haven't been in education. I've put for 20 something years, but I worked it out on the way here, it's more like 30. It was really grim. So yeah, even longer than I thought. This is something that in some way I can find a way of making a career out of some sort, or even if I didn't, I could just volunteer. I can't imagine never having experiences like this again, because it does make you hungry for more, and it makes you more willing to put yourself out there, you know, and risk rejection from other sort of groups and things, and you take the positivity out into the community, and it, you know, every interaction that's changed more positively, it can only make a nicer world, really, can't it? And so I'm really hoping I can do more stuff with the old fire station, because I found that what it does feed you at a level I've forgotten. It makes me feel real again and like a proper person. And next time they need some funding, I'll stand there and talk about how vital the work is, and I will shout it from the rooftops, give them the chance, and here I am. A small version of that. That's actually what I'd written before this was ever a thing. That was just the story. So yeah, that's me.